Life's not supposed to be perfect, and it never will be when you're living in your mind. The fear, the frustration, the anger are all happening for you rather than to you. Sometimes life seems like it's stacked against you. Sometimes one thing after the other after the other. You drop your camera, break your lens, then your microphone breaks, and then your car breaks. You got to pay for that too. And sometimes the world gets stacked against you. And the anger bubbles up, the frustration bubbles up. And it hurts. And you're supposed to feel the frustration. You're supposed to feel the negative emotions that arise. Because emotions are energy in motion, and they're meant for us to feel. That's why they're called feelings. But we can take a deep breath. We can get centered in ourselves and appreciate these things that are happening to us. We can appreciate the fact that, hey, maybe if my camera broke, it's a 21st century problem. That I have a $5,000 camera that may need a little repair. Or the fact that I have a vehicle that I've never really paid for, that my grandfather gifted me, that, hey, you know what? Maybe it is time to put money into it. Reframing our problems. And obviously, these problems are minuscule, small compared to most people's problems. You might be watching this video wondering how you're going to feed your kids. I got off the phone with one of my clients yesterday, and he's saying it's been a really hard month. His partner's mother is on hospice. He had 2 deaths in the family. He just bought a new business, and 4 employees all quit on him at once. He's saying, whatever, there's all things over his head. The point is not to compare our problems to other people's problems. Because I called my girlfriend on the phone yesterday, and I was like, fucking broke my camera, and now I have $1,500 car payment, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, yeah, I got my nails done, and I chipped my nail. And that pissed me off. And I was like, well, let's not compare problems. But at the same instance, there's no big problem, there's no little problem, there's really no such thing as problems. There's only learning. And we're in the school of life. We're on the University of Earth. And all we can do is learn. All we can do is learn. For me, I've been a perfectionist most of my life. And it's been handed down generations from generations. And when we understand the way that we're programmed in this life, we can track it back to our parents, we can track it back to our grandparents, and even their parents. Because the way that we are socialized by our parents is conditioned into us. Our parents download their consciousness into us. And I've been given this perfectionist gene from my dad. I realize that because he's kind of a perfectionist. I love Scotty, but he's a perfectionist. And it came from when I was playing baseball and going to school and having to get A's. And I hold on to the idea that everything needs to be perfect. I hold on to the idea that these videos need to be perfect. My work needs to be perfect. My finances need to be perfect. My relationships need to be perfect. But there is no concrete ideal of perfection. So when we seek perfection and we try and make life perfect, there's no end goal. And even when there's an end goal, there's still more. There's still more that we may search and seek. And it's not about searching, it's not about seeking, it's about being here in this moment. Because the only thing that's perfect is us here. There's no better reality after I post this video. There's no better reality after you make a whole bunch of money. There's no better. Just is. The success feels sweet for a moment. The success feels, wow, almost like you could hold on to it. But if you hold on to it, you're going to get kicked in the face by life. And my programming is perfectionism. But other people have other programming. Other people live in fear. Other people live in not enoughness. Other people live in their own control dramas. And a great book to understand some of these control dramas is The Celestine Prophecy. And they go into various different control dramas prophesized by this ancient document found in Peru. Great book. I'll link it in the description over here. But yeah, Celestine Prophecy, great adventure novel about those control dramas, about the programming that is given to us by our parents, that is instilled within us. So whether you're a perfectionist, whether you're a worrier, whether you are not enough, whether you are just not a serious person. Realize what the defense mechanism is of these control dramas that you fed yourself for your whole life. Because the story that you have about your past is the reason you act the way you do now. And I've made other videos talking about shadow work and how it's not the end all be all. It's not. Shadow work it's not. But diving into your past, understanding why you are the way you are now is helpful for you to go forward into the future. And when you put that awareness in yourself, when you put that awareness into your past so that you can understand your presence, so that you may put awareness into your future and intention into your future, you can create things that are very conscious. You can consciously create things rather than unconsciously create things. Because I started this video saying life is not perfect. However, when we live from spirit, it is. We live from soul. When we let our heart lead us, life is perfect. And it's our perception of the imperfection that makes life not perfect. When we lead with the mind, life is not perfect. How could it be? How could it be when our mind constantly labels, judges, and limits everything that we experience? It's a coming back to the present moment, feeling the perfection, understanding the perfection. And it's a practice. Our daily sadhana is our daily spiritual practice. And when you come into yourself, when you put awareness into your past so that you may lead a meaningful life in the future and be present in this moment, not worried about the control drama, not caught up in the various conditionings that you may have, life gets sweeter. Promise. Because in the last couple of weeks, I've been caught up in my own head. Been caught up in my own head about these little control dramas. Been caught up in the perfectionism. I've been caught up in my not enoughness. I've been caught up in the worrying, right? I don't know exactly where the not enough, probably from the perfectionism. Those are actually two the same. But the worry came from my mom. And I understand that I almost see her acting through me when that shows up. So put an awareness in your actions. Put attention into yourself and the way that you show up in the world, and you will see how other people may act through you. See how your father acts through you. See how your mother acts through you. See how your old coach acts through you. See how your friends act through you. You are the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. That is truth. So understand why you are the way you are. Is it your friends? Is it your parents? Is it your teachers? It's probably a combination of all of them. And you don't need to do all that thinking for life to be perfect. Put your awareness in your emotions. Put your awareness in yourself and just feel. Just feel. Because it's perfect when you're angry. It's perfect when you're frustrated. It's perfect when you break your camera and your car breaks down and you got to buy new microphones before your video shoot tomorrow. And it's perfect even when your grandma dies. And it's perfect when your dog's super sick and has cancer. Because it's life, baby. Those are the lows, but there's so many highs. There's so many joyous moments. There's so many nights laughing with your friends. There's so many bonfires. There's so many more sunrises. And we can't get caught up in the things that bring us down when there's so much more that will bring us up. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I have all sorts of videos about consciousness, self-realization, spiritual awakening, emotional intelligence. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All these fun things. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. So much peace, so much love. Watch that next video. Namaste.